will be 10:30 a.m. today at the Mulford Evangelical Free Church. Visitation will be from 9 until 10:30 today at the Mulford Evangelical Free Church. The Ralph J. Whittick Riley Frears Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. A funeral mass for 90-year-old Robert Schnedler of Milwaukee will be 10:30 today at the St. Matthias Church in Muscatine. Visitation will be from 9 until 10:30 today at the St. Matthias Church. A memorial service for 78-year-old Franklin Smith of Muscatine will be 10 a.m. on Saturday at the Sycamore Baptist Church. That's all for the funeral announcements at this time.
I'm David Frears of the Whittick Riley Frears Funeral Home. At the Whittick Riley Frears Funeral Home, we provide thoughtful and considerate service. We strive for excellence with every family we serve, respecting their beliefs and traditions, and offering superior service with compassion and honor. At the Whittick Riley Frears Funeral Home, our mission is simple: to provide the finest quality service possible to every family we serve. The Whittick Riley Frears Funeral Home, serving you with dignity and respect.
Welcome to Moving Forward, sponsored by MPW Mocklink TV and Mocklink Internet, online at mpw.org. Each weekday morning, our local talk segment brings you the people who are helping move our community forward. Let's start the show.
Good morning, AM 860 and FM 95.1 KWPC. I'm Jordan Davis. Thanks for joining us here this morning for Moving Forward on this June 22nd. It's a Friday. We're glad to be coming to you real quick. Say thanks to our sponsor, Muscatine Power and Water. Say hello to Mocklink Phone, your new local phone company. Fiber customers get it now. Switching is easy, and you can keep your old number. Learn more at mpw.org. Once again, I'm Jordan Davis. Joining us in the studio this morning, Nathan Mather. How are you this morning, Nathan?
Doing great, Jordan. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, and we're glad to have you in the studio. You're a wealth of information, Nathan, and it's always a pleasure to have you in so that we can learn a little bit about what's going on here in Muscatine. So I'll let you take it away here this morning.
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm just glad to be dry, and having not floated away the last couple of days, I was caught out in that downpour a little bit, but it was nuts. I thought we were going to have to start getting two of every animal.
I heard there was cars actually, like, I don't know if floating is the right term, but I heard there was like cars like submerged over on the...
Wow, yeah. Fortunately, I avoided that, although there were a couple ponded areas. I thought, even in my SUV, I thought I was going to have some trouble, but we managed to make it through, and so I hope everybody else did. But it's, it's dry or wet, it's a great place to live. Really excited about being in and from Muscatine, and just want to say hey to everybody out there. There's always a lot going on. Some of the great things, I think, if you look around in the news, the world's crazy, man. I suppose it's always been crazy, but we got, we got trade wars, we got corruption in Washington, we got, people wanting to kidnap the president's kids. I mean, my goodness. So it's nice to be in a place where even if we don't agree, we don't have to be disagreeable with each other. Mm-hmm. And we've got a lot going on. I sit on the County Board of Supervisors, and we just had the other day a kind of a long-term planning session, figuring out, what sort of things we want to focus on. We pride ourselves on being very business and individual freedom-oriented, helping people to really do what they want, staying out of their way. Well, one of the things that we've identified is that for various reasons, the county owns a lot of property, and some of those are, facilities we've had for quite a while. Mm-hmm. Some of that is land we acquired from FEMA and some of the flood buyouts, which is basically we purchase floodplain land and nothing can ever be done with it. And some is kind of a weird thing called unknown parcels, and it's not really that the parcels are unknown or their owners are unknown. It's a lot of times we can't find them, or we can't precisely define what a parcel is. And you might think, well, how do you not know what a piece of land is? Mm. Well, if you imagine, let's say you've got a cabin out on the Cedar River, and it's near a sandbar. As the river flows, that thing shifts quite a bit, and, the backwaters change. So maybe what was land 10 years ago is underwater now, and vice versa. So the boundaries change, and a lot of folks know we've got this magic beacon system, which is a computer program that is really cool. It shows you pretty much everything you want to know about any piece of property in the county. But that is got an aerial map, and that doesn't always precisely match up with the surveyor's markers and everything. Anyway, long story short, we're trying to figure out what on earth we need to do in order to make sure that those land pieces, whether they're teensy tiny or fairly sizable, can be put to some kind of a productive use. And that's a lot more complicated than you might think.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, we thought, we'll just make sure people get their land, and then we got lawyers involved. So, you
Right.
know, even as a lawyer, I recognize lawyers complicate things. So, but that, you know, that is trying to figure out what to do with all this stuff we've got, how to manage it correctly is something that's been very important to us. Another thing that's happening is one of the county's main roles is dealing with mental health and disability services. And I've spoken before, one of the things that we have been put into a place of is that we are grouped up with 4 other counties in a mental health region. Now, our friends in Des Moines have been trying to help us figure out how to fund this and tell us exactly what we need to do. They kind of keep changing things up on us, so we have to stay on our toes. Last year, they said, well, all these regions have all this extra money they're sitting on, so we need them to spend that money down before we're going to let them, really levy more in the way of taxes, which, yeah, makes sense. You know, if your budget is $12 million a year, you keep getting tax money in, and you're sitting on $15 million, yeah, you should spend some of that down. So we started a process to start spending that down. Well, come this year, they change it up on us and say, okay, we're going to take away that spend down requirement, and here's why. Because now you have to, in addition to everything you're doing, do X, Y, Z, A, B, and C, and all the way back down to Z. A whole bunch of new things, by the way, without changing the funding. So now we go from a place of having all this extra money in the kitty to, oh my goodness, in 2021, we're going to be out of money. So we are trying to figure out at the regional level exactly how that gets done. And the crazy thing is, we got the process started when we thought we had to spend it down of, hey, are there any great one-time requests out there from some of the agencies that provide us with services? And we're not
Right.
talking about hiring new people, nothing that's going to be ongoing, but maybe do they need some money to get something up and running that's going to be a benefit to the residents of the county? And so we got all those one-time funding requests in, and then we found out, well, we don't actually still have that money, at least not as much as we thought. So there was some disagreement at the regional level. I was personally of the opinion that even though I think a lot of the requests were fantastic for great programs, my opinion was that if we're going to run out of money, we've got no business handing some out for one-time requests. But I was outvoted, and that's democracy. So, I think it was, I don't agree with the decision, but I'm not unhappy about the decision because there are going to be some great services that are coming to Muscatine County and that are going to be expanded here. We have a lot of folks doing great work. So, that's one of the things that we're thinking about. It goes from kind of the big picture things we're doing to mundane little stuff, but stuff that can make quite a big difference. We're taking a look at, how many vehicles does the county have? We had the meeting and none of us knew. None of us could probably guess within 10 or 20 and be all that accurate. Because you've got your snow plows and your dump trucks, and then you've got folks who just have to travel a lot and have got cars and pickup trucks and the like. So we're trying to get a better handle on that, figure out. Because really, our job is to stay out of your way, to manage our operations efficiently, and we're trying to do that. And that lets us do some more exciting things. Because when we manage the little things well, we can do some cool things on the other side. Like, I don't know if you've been down to Deep Lakes Park.
I haven't yet. I really need to get down there. I just spoke with Dave Bakke from over there.
Yeah, I heard that was a great interview. There's a lot of cool things happening down there. My kids and I and my wife have been down a few times. I've got a 1-year-old who loves building sandcastles right there on the beach.
You can't beat that.
Oh my goodness, he loves it. So we are glad to have that. There's canoe, kayak rentals down. There's cabins going in that are going to have occupancy. I think between 6 and 8 people.
That's what he said. It was 6 to 8, a couple 6 to 8, and then one that was maybe going to be more like 10.
Okay, party cabin. We got all kinds of trails. So anybody who hasn't been down there, the old quarries just on the south side of town there, it's a fantastic place. And one thing I noted is we need some kind of a shower or outdoor faucet facility because I was pretty darn sandy when I walked up the whole beach to get back to my car. So, and I talked to some folks who had the same idea. And, it's just neat to get down there to see the people and see folks having fun in a place that we maybe haven't had anything like in town. So, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. As you know, it's summer vacation, so a lot of the parents by now are probably starting to get sick of their kids again. College for Kids is going on. We're just dropping my daughter off this morning to the last day of that. She loves it. She's doing something with space and writing and mud, which
sounds like a lot of fun.
I guess she doesn't come home muddy, which I think is good. But so that's a neat thing, and there's always a million neat things like that going on. The school system. I sit on the school board as well, and summer vacation is kind of a time when things slow down for us. We kind of take stock and figure out where we want to be for the next year. We've got there's a lot of things I think that are coming up in the school system that we're going to have to make some decisions on. For a while we were talking out about maybe putting an early childhood center, so preschool and kindergarten, out at the mall at the old J.C. Penney store. And I want to say that was back in March. We had a meeting out there. We toured the facility. It looked like an interesting and intriguing concept, but now, that mall is an interesting place, and we're still trying to figure out if there are other options, if it's the best thing we want to do. So one thing that we've got, we're doing a pilot program with wraparound services. And I want to say that it's at Mulberry in Colorado, but don't quote me on that. So if anybody out there knows what I'm talking about, please correct me if I'm wrong.
You have to explain that to me a little bit. Wraparound program.
Sure. Well, we take your kid and we wrap. No. So folks who go to work early, 6, 7, even 8 o'clock, may have difficulty getting their children to school. Same thing, picking them up in the afternoon. Not most people aren't off at 3 o'clock. So we're going to have early morning child care and after-school child care available for people. And it's actually being done at no cost to the taxpayers of the district. This is a pilot program being provided through vendors who are going to transact directly with the parents. So it's going to be at these schools, and we're going to see, how well it works. Hopefully it gives people a lot more flexibility, gives their kids something to do rather than just, parking them in front of a tablet, which I'm certainly guilty of with my children. So that's just another option we're exploring. We just had graduation. That's always exciting to see. And, there's just a lot of great things happening, I think, in Muscatine. And, it's a wonderful place to live. I've lived, I lived in New York City for a while. I lived in some other big cities and lived abroad as well. And, they say there's no place like home, and it's true. There's not a place in the world I've found where the people are nicer, where the people are more sane. I mean, here people get along. Here people, even if, they don't like what another person's saying, that doesn't mean I'm all triggered or I have to have a therapy puppy or, whatever, like you see on the college campuses today.
You see that stuff on TV and you just go, is that real? Like,
right?
Some of that stuff actually happen?
I mean, I could have used some kind of, huggy horse or something like that during my finals in college. I mean, I've never got anything like that. Life is still real. And I think that we spend so much time online and in social media that what people put up there is obviously a very filtered version of their lives. And so when we start to think that's real, I think we get a really skewed version of life. And here, sure, we've got our technology, but, we go out and we wave to people on the street. We say hi to them. We meet them in the coffee shop. We in the store. And if you have to run into people and face people every day, I think it leads to a lot more civility in life.
Right.
And a lot more cooperation. I mean, things get done here. So I'm very happy about it. I don't know why. Today I'm really up on Muscatine. I am normally, but I guess I woke up on the right side of the bed today.
I'm pretty excited. I mean, we just have been speaking with the Musk Public Library because they've got their new building over there, and all that is through donations that they've received that building from like H&I, and so like even a lot of those bigger like businesses are playing an active role here in Muscatine too, because the Muscat Public Library that's strictly an advance for the community. That's something that to build up the community, not for any other gain.
Yeah, and it's really exciting. It's great to see your company is investing in the community, whether it's the riverfront or just the other day I heard a commercial on the radio about, the local banks boosting the sports. Every time, someone scores or wins a game, they donate money. I mean, it's a fantastic place. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the old library. I guess now it is the old library. There's a lot of interesting possibilities. This is probably a little before your time, the Come and Go downtown across from the jail there. For a while, I mean, that used to be an old grocery store 20, 25 years ago. And then it was nothing for that amount of time. And I guess people were kind of despairing that anything was ever going to happen to it. And, I'd heard a lot of different proposals over the years, but I never expected that so quickly something so vibrant would develop. And, it just shows how quickly things can happen in a town where people have goodwill and have the will to invest. And, it's really exciting. We have challenges, but I think most of them are really good problems to have, trying to figure out how we're going to fill all the jobs that are available. The employers that I talk to are saying, I can't find enough people, so what a great problem to have, that we have jobs and we need people for them.
Absolutely.
The real estate market is picking back up. We're seeing, there's always a lull in the winter, and since the winter lasted till about 25 minutes ago, I think that lull went on longer. But it's really starting to heat back up, and people are coming to town and really getting interested in living here.
That's great. That's really great to see, because more people coming in, like you said, people are looking for employees. You gotta have open houses for them to move into, so that we can pull them in. So that's a big deal.
And we got to match the skill sets of those employees. We've got to make sure that if a company's hiring, that doesn't mean they can just hire anybody. They need to have a person who can do the job. And so we've been working through the schools to try and really get a diagnosis of what companies need, and trying to tailor some of our education, particularly our career readiness paths, to making sure that those skill sets are presented in the community. Because let's face it, if a company has everything it wants except for people, I mean, it's not going to do real well. It's going to find somewhere else to operate. And we want to keep those folks here.
Right.
Good jobs, it promotes great families, promotes a great community. And I think, it all works together and reinforces itself.
Absolutely. Well, Nathan, you've shared a lot of information with us here this morning and really boosted my spirits, especially about Muscatine. I appreciate that.
I think it's your coffee. It's pretty strong.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Nathan, for joining us here this morning.
Pleasure.
It's always a pleasure, as always, to have you on here. So once again, this has been Moving Forward. Nathan Mather joining us from the Muscatine County Board of Supervisors. Is that the right ranging of those words? Muscatine County Board of Supervisors.
As long as you don't abbreviate it BS, that's fine.
Perfect. Thanks for joining us, Nathan. This has been Moving Forward on AM 860 and FM 95.1 KWPC. Once again, thanks to our sponsor, Muscatine Power and Water. MockLink is always Muscatine's fastest internet, and gigabit speed is coming. MockLink TV beats satellite and includes video and music streaming. New subscribers save big even more when you bundle. Learn more at mpw.org. That is one thing I'm getting excited about, is gigabit speed coming to internet, because I'm always at home on my computer doing something, so I really appreciate having nice
Very
internet.
nice.
So looking forward to that. Thanks again, Nathan. This has been Moving Forward on the voiceofmuscatine.com.
This has been Moving Forward on KWPC AM 860 FM 95.1, the voice of Muscatine. Moving Forward is brought to you by MPW Digital TV and MockLink Internet, a designated Blue Zones worksite. Browse to mpw.org. And remember, Moving Forward. Local guests making good things happen in the community. Weekdays at 8:15.